In the beginning, you'll wish you were dead. You might start thinking, what's the harm of taking a day off? But for me, in order to be a strong hero, even if I was spitting blood, I never stopped. I toughed it out and endured the pain. I did squats, even when my legs felt like they couldn't move. Even when my arms started making weird clicking noises, I kept doing push-ups. A year and a half later, I started to notice a difference. I was bald, and I had become stronger. In other words, you gotta train like hell to the point where your hair falls out. That's the only way to become truly strong. I'm just a guy who's a hero for fun. And the surface is guarded by me! What is this feeling coming over me? This wild throbbing in my heart. This rush. This sensation. It's been so long. I've forgotten the exhilaration of a real fight!
I was friendless, always with a dark cloud above. Everyone knew who the hero was going to be. I didn't stand a chance in hell. Naturally, there was no scenario where the monster would ever win. I was always the loser. The popular kid always beats up the little guy that no one likes. That's just the way the world works. Screw justice, and screw evil too. I'm gonna be killed simply because that's what everyone else wants? It's not fair. I can't stand it. It pisses me off. All I want is to make them understand. I'm here to fight for underdogs everywhere. Good, evil. I reject them both.
Alright, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Gonna be doing a voiceover for the rest of the workout. That way I can just talk to you guys a little bit. So pretty much right here, as you guys are seeing me and Johnny do some tempo squats after our heavy doubles. We are on program now, so technically we are using pretty lightweight for these tempos, but basically the tempo we're going with is a 3-2-1 and then up. So ideally what we're focusing on, as you can see, me and Johnny are trying to count for each other, so that way we kind of don't cheat reps. You'll see in Johnny's set, he does a really good job of keeping a very, very, very nice tempo. That is an extremely solid 3-2-1. I was kind of having a little bit of issues this workout breathing, which kind of did suck, as you guys will see in my final set on this, and you can kind of see it throughout. You can kind of tell I am a little gassed, even though the weight is moving very, very smoothly. This is honestly just, I kind of need to work on my cardio, to be honest, because this can't keep happening. But you'll see in my last set, I end up doing, I believe we were doing sets of 6. And I ended up doing 4 reps, and then I literally had to rack it because I could not breathe anymore with my belt. So I ended up having to rack it and actually doing that other 2 reps, which you guys will see. But ideally, Johnny in these clips, he is doing a 295. I'm doing 315. But he's actually doing a lot better of a job when it comes to keeping his form together. The main thing that I was focusing on and why I wasn't really like, it's hard for me to do tempos. I mean, this is the first time us doing tempos in a long time. I haven't done tempos since I was about, 17. And we were like, 17, 18-ish, back in that realm. But tempos are a really good way to get comfortable at the bottom. As you guys kind of see, when I am squatting in these tempos, the main thing I'm focusing on is sinking my hips at the very bottom, so that way we actually, I'm getting that comfortability of being in the hole, even though I could go a little bit slower. As you guys are seeing, this is the set I believe I'm talking about, where I ended up doing 4 reps. I also did try slowing down my reps a lot because I did have a talk with Johnny. I was going a little bit fast, like I initially said. So the idea was to slow the reps down and try to get the most out of these tempos. Because ideally, 315 is a weight for me that is only, realistically, it's only about 70%. But it is a weight where doing, I can do probably about 12 reps with 315 regular squatting in a row. But the biggest challenge is breathing, and breathing on a squat with a belt can be difficult if you are trying to utilize a belt. Those of you guys that do powerlifting, or you guys would understand. But as you guys did see, so I ended up racking the weight, and I had a I ended up doing my last 2 reps, even though Johnny told me I shouldn't. I definitely in my head needed to finish the workout because I don't want to be off program. So that's kind of the main thing we are focusing on moving forward, me and Johnny, is that we're trying to really dial in what workouts we are doing as far as our compounds, and making sure that we are doing these accessory compound lifts that you can call it. Because at the very end of the video, or after these squats, you'll see we actually ended up working deficit deadlifts. Deficit deadlifts are something, as you guys can tell, we're basically lifting on a 45-pound plate, and we're lifting at obviously a deficit. What this is going to do for us is basically allow us to get more power out of the hole, which is extremely important when it comes to the sumo deadlift, because as far as for me, when it comes to sumo, I've realized the way my sumo works, if I can get it off the floor, it will most likely go up. However, sometimes like you guys have seen in, I believe it was the video I did the 515 PR on my birthday, I believe. My hips failed me when it came to pulling off the floor, and then I kind of just had to get a little bit more mad. That kind of is something I need to work on still, is my hip mobility, because sometimes it really, really affects me when it comes to deadlifts. But basically on these deficits, there's nothing much to it. Ideally, what we're trying to focus on is just being as explosive as we can off the floor and trying to keep our form together. Because ideally, we're pretty much just lifting something that is a little bit lower than we would be used to, hence us standing on top of a plate. Like I said, this is something that's going to help in general. So technically, even though today was mainly a leg day, doing these deficits and not, deadlifting on our leg days are pretty much helping us gain that explosiveness that we need to continue forward. So I highly recommend them. especially if you are struggling to pick weight off the floor. This is going to help you also not rise your hips. So as you guys can kind of see, mine and Johnny's forms are a little bit different when it comes to the sumo. I'm a little bit more wider. But basically, when it comes to doing stuff like this, where it's a weight that's not too heavy for me, ideally, the only thing we're doing is I'm just purposely trying to make sure my hips aren't rising, especially starting at a lower, especially starting at like a deficit. That is extremely important. Either way, this workout is wrapping up. I think we're just going to throw some posing footage in at the end. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I definitely have a couple banger videos on the way, so please stay in touch, or I guess subscribe to the channel. I don't know why, but also too, if you want to get a hold of me, DM me, whatever you guys got to do. I continuously appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for 4,200 followers on TikTok. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. Like I said, this is just the beginning. I really sincerely can't wait to just continue to make content for you guys, and hope you guys enjoy me and Johnny preparing for this powerlifting meet, and hopefully we qualify for nationals, because that's the goal, and that's kind of just all we're striving for. As you can see, I'm pretty much was just taking pictures of Johnny, and yeah. That's another thing too. I can't wait to be a sick cunt on that motherfucking stage, looking all lean and stuff, and pulling some heavy ass weight. So that's kind of all we got for today. But either way, I'll let y'all go. I hope y'all enjoyed this one. Y'all be safe. Keep it real.